Hey guys, and welcome to the Trader's Apprentice blog, episode 5, Lessons Learned the Hard Way. In this episode, I'm going to go through 2 errors or mistakes that I've made in my early trading career and share those with you guys so that hopefully you don't make the same mistakes that I have. Making mistakes is very important for your growth, so long as they do become lessons learned. Now, firstly, to make them become lessons learned, you have to recognize the mistake. You have to observe what works and how the mistake differs. You should document your mistakes or keep a trading journal. And what I'm doing now for you guys is share them. Sometimes admitting mistakes can be a little bit difficult, but it's important that you do that, and it can be even harder to open them up to the public and share them with everyone, but it's part of the journey and part of your growth, so that's why I'm doing this today for you guys. My first mistake, investing in crypto. So early on in my journey, early February, after spending 4 to 5 weeks in the space only, watching countless YouTubers, signing up to signal groups, which is another mistake, and following guidance of what I thought were intelligent people in the industry. I put some money into a project called Power Ledger. Now, I haven't looked at this for a long time, but my recollection is it's a project which is sharing renewable energies amongst communities using a tokenized platform or basis or something along those lines, and seemed like a good project at the time. Now, as I've since learned, fundamentally we're investing in someone's ideas, their dreams, and in this case, yes, they have a working project, and yes, they had some communities which were working on this platform. But investing in the token is not investing in the company. You do not own any part whatsoever of Power Ledger, and you're speculating that the price of the token is going to rise simply because of perceived worth or use in a tokenized system. All these things now, to me, are fairly farcical. So I bought in probably only 5 days to a week before I came across my first stream of Mitches, and that obviously with the older organization. And I thought, after listening to the parties that I was listening to at the time, that I bought in at the bottom. I picked the bottom. It came down from all-time highs. It was down 50% on sale. I honestly jagged this little bottom here, which I now see as a fairly significant tweezer bottom on a daily. And within 5 days, I was up 50%, and I was kings. I was Kang. And well, let's fast forward. Let's see what happened to Power Ledger. Over the months leading up to April, the old spring happened, and it came back up here in May. So I thought, look, I'm investing. It's all good. It's back to where my buy-in is. I'll keep hodling, and all's good. We're going to continue to rise to the moon now. And then it was about this time that I started realizing that we're at late May, early June, that I am now a trader and I am not an investor in this space. But from that point onwards, there was really only a couple of spikes which got close to my buy-in, and as I was clever enough at the start of my career not to put money into the space that I wasn't willing to lose, and therefore wasn't very significant in value, that on top of the fact that these 2 spikes happened overnight and I missed them, I continue to hold Power Ledger for the time being. And as you can see now, I am in the red by approximately 50%. So, if you have a look at what's occurred since my buy-in, and knowing that you can probably short this on some platforms, possibly I think Bitfinex. Had I bought, sold, or go into a short, bought, short, I could make potentially 4 or 5 times the money that I had in my initial 5 days had I traded this rather than invested in this. Now, I've racked this one up to a lesson learned, and when Power Ledger gets anything anywhere near my buy-in, a trailing stop loss will be going on it. If it goes to 0, that's also fine. Lesson has been learned and will not be made again. So, HODL, no. HODL leads to Titanic sinking in my mind. As we all know, and Mitch will tell us on our streams, that there are simply no fundamentals to be investing in this space at this point in time. And that may change, but for now, I will not be investing in this space. Now we move on to lesson learned number 2. Now this is obviously a stop loss lesson, or otherwise a big emergency red button. The stop loss is, as previously mentioned in other videos, particularly in my trading plan video, a function to stop your loss. So example number 2, and I think Mitch will appreciate this one. This was a trade set up with the older organization back in late May, which was a nice falling wedge. When we look at the smaller wedge first, which had triple bullish divergence at the time, and we bought in about here, and it immediately hit our stop loss. A couple of days later, it was looked at again, now showing 5 times bullish divergence, and we took a second shot at this one, and we bought in. It headed off in the right direction and came back down to my buy-in price, and I was so confident that it was going to continue to move upwards because of all this bullish divergence. It was going to play out in our favor, that for some reason I decided that I would remove my stop loss as it was heading towards my stop loss, and I didn't want to be stopped out on what I thought was always going to be a winning trade. Now, as you know, I've since this point in time read a few more books, including Mark Douglas's Trading in the Zone, and I understand market psychology far more than I did at this time. And the market will always go against you. Oh, sorry. The market can always go against you in any direction and any time, any percentage of movement. So let's see what happened to Monero. Once I removed my stop loss, we never saw that price ever again, apart from again another overnight spike, which I missed, and continue down, down, and down, and down into a massive downtrend to where we are today. Again, in this trade, which should have stopped me out for no more than 3 or 5% loss, I am now down 50% in this position because I decided to transfer a trade to a longer term investment, or whatever I thought at the time. Again, we add this one up to a cost of a lesson learned and something that I will never do again, and I have never done since. Every trade that I enter, I will always have a stop loss. So hopefully these 2 short examples can, show some shining light or guide you guys a little bit further that the best of us, the worst of us, the ones in between, we all make mistakes, but it's how we grow from that, and we can document, we can share these mistakes, and we can learn from them. Hopefully with my trading plan and the information that I've given you thus far, you can take the easy way and not the hard way. And in the future videos, we'll certainly be getting into the market psychology stuff It's pretty in-depth and will take some time to get through, but it's probably, for the most part, going to be the best information I'm going to be able to give you guys the next couple of months. So again, feel free to hit me up in Discord to ask any questions. Again, thanks very much for putting up with this one. It's another short one, and by the time you guys get this, I'll probably be in Africa. Take care, guys, and see you on the next one.